Welcome to this podcast.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
You should have gone to bed. I had to pee in the lobby while I was checking in so that I wasn't late to this podcast. So you can tell I got this beautiful lighting behind me. I like Holiday Ends here.
Yeah.
Like in a smoker's room, everything. They paint it yellow so that if people smoke in here, it doesn't stain the freaking walls.
Are you trying to save Madison some beeps?
Yeah.
And when you take a steam shower, the nicotine comes out of the walls and starts dripping down.
Exactly.
Dude, this is no lie at all. My house, the lady we bought it from was a smoker. Well, I moved in there, smelled no smoke or whatever, but I swear to God, I still got nicotine coming out of the shower, the wall in the shower. Like I've painted that bathroom like 3 times.
Do people smoke in the shower?
I guess you're on the toilet or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, my grandma used to. That was her place. She'd try to go hide in the bathroom, and then the bathroom, she'd turn the fan on, and the bathroom was the place she went.
Yeah, like my dad, I grew up like I hate smoking because my dad never smoked a cigarette a day in my life, and I hated my dad smoked. So I smelled like smoke, house smelled like smoke, and I just can't stand it to save my damn life.
I can't look at when I move my head this way. Look at that picture, y'all. My computer's flat. I can't do it.
Put your head in front.
I can't because it's still gonna be there. Because look now, when I move my head in front of the picture that's not straight, see this lamp right here?
Yeah.
No joke, that some bitch doesn't have a light bulb in it.
You're just ruined. You're like,
that's what I think this isn't gonna work.
Number one, you had to drive away on Father's Day, like had to leave the family.
Yeah, that's life.
Number 2, you roll up into the hotel with a crooked picture and no bulb and a lamp.
I've already been watched too. I ain't lying. Look.
It's locked down.
Dude, that thing's screwed in on all 4 corners, guaranteed.
It took a good amount of time to secure that sumbitch, but 0 amount of time to make sure that it was level.
Your OCD is killing you right now.
It's bad. I don't know what to do about it.
How about just ignore it? That's probably, how many nights are you there for? 2 nights?
Yeah, but I got to figure out a different place to sit because if I got to do this podcast and we're going to BS for an hour here, I'm in trouble, y'all. I'm in trouble. Hey, we should introduce Mr. Mullinex and then tell everybody why our backgrounds are different.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So first, my background is different because I'm sitting in, well, it's not sunny right now because the sun's going down. I'm sitting on the balcony of a wonderful resort here in sunny Florida on vacation with the fam, my brother and sister-in-law and his 2 beautiful girls and my wife. And we've been doing yesterday. Well, we got in Friday. When did we get in? Did we get in Friday? Yeah. My days are screwed. My brother-in-law's sitting here with me listening to us jackasses.
Why don't you have him on?
He said y'all can't handle the truth. That's what he said. He said they can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth!
He's gonna bring it out. What's that movie? The Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, it's A Few Good Men. Yeah. But so we've been doing the Disney thing. We got in Friday, went to Disney Springs. Either y'all went to Disney, but I know, Andy, you took Delaney a couple years ago or whatever, right?
Yeah, Amanda can tell you when. I don't know when, but I did.
Yeah. But we went to Disney Springs Friday and just walked around there. And same thing.
What is Disney Springs?
It's like it's basically a shops. It's like a bunch of Disney stores, and then there's all other kinds of stores and stuff there.
That seems like the only thing that could potentially be worse than going to Disney. Is going to the overpriced shops of Disney.
Yeah, well, they're not, some of them are the overpriced shops at Disney, but some of them are just normal stores too. But they have a lot of good restaurants and stuff there too that you overpay for the food and all that.
I'm really disappointed you don't have Mickey Mouse ears on right now.
No doubt.
Well, there may or may not be a picture of me with Mickey Mouse pride ears on.
How do we survive without that?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you who has the picture because Andy, you may be able to get it. But
I'll text Molly right now.
Yeah, but other than that, no. But so we went there because we didn't really have anything going on Friday or Saturday, so we just kind of hung out there. What took Caitlin, my middle daughter, she loves the movie Titanic, so we went to the Titanic exhibit here in town Saturday, which was really, really cool, by the way. Giving you a lot more backstory about it and this, that, the other. And Kinsey and I actually went to a.
Did your mic just cut out?
Did it?
I can hear him. I got you.
Can you not hear me?
Sorry.
Andy? Oh, there you go. But
I hear you now.
so we couldn't check into my brother-in-law's place until yesterday. So we stayed at a hotel, and right next door was a history museum, or a military history museum. And of course, Kenzie, wanting to go into the military and everything. Did you get the picture already?
Working on it. It's on its way.
But so Molly or me and Mackenzie went over to that. Met this awesome guy, military vet, volunteered there. Of course, it's a nonprofit organization. He took us through and started the Revolutionary War all the way through the current, war on terrorism, giving us information. And I could have literally spent 4 or 5 hours there. We were in a rush, but we got a couple of days coming up that we don't have anything planned. And me and Kenzie's already decided to go back there and see Al again and go back through that tour to get some of the information we missed. But so we did that yesterday, and then today we went to Discovery Cove, and the kids swam with dolphins, and we snorkeled around they got an artificial reef in there, man, like stingrays and sharks and triggers and pufferfish and all this kind of stuff just in there, and you just snorkel around with them, and it was awesome. A little fun time today.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good Father's Day day.
Yeah, it was a great Father's Day day. So tomorrow we start the marathon that is Disney. So we go to Hollywood Studios tomorrow. I get to play Star Wars some, so I'm excited about that.
So good.
Yeah, yep. And then I think, let's see, we're doing Hollywood, Magic Kingdom, Universal, and then that's about it. Then we're going to find some other stuff to do. But
you had a bird land on your head today?
Yeah, that picture. Oh no, she didn't. We didn't have our phones because, So we're in this place, like there's this lazy river, which isn't lazy by the way. Like my iWatch today, like asked if I was a new user because I was so active, right?
Andy, is his mic cutting in and out?
Yeah, it's cutting out for me too.
Well, okay, so I'm hot spotted, so that might be some of it.
I don't think it's that. I think it might be that you're on your iRacing mic.
That might be some of it too, but I'm also hot spotted, so I don't know if that's.
I don't know. It's just, but your picture's moving fine. Your mic just cuts in and out.
It could be.
Okay, we don't want people to think that this podcast has any high class or any organization to it.
Why would it be? I don't want to call the mics and soundboard and everything else coming in.
we might as well just call in from cell phones where we have shitty reception.
Is it breaking up real bad? Because I hear it. I hear it clicking now. But oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it basically sounds like you are the first lady that did connected phone calls and stuff way back there with your little headset on.
Mabel.
Mabel. There you go. Well then, hey, why we can't hear him, Andy? Why don't you? So first off, this having two Andys thing, this is going to be difficult. We're going to have to just call you Mullinex on here.
Yeah, but, or the good-looking Andy, whichever works.
Yeah, well, that's going to be super confusing for people.
How about that now?
Oh, that's better.
All right,
way better.
We're just going to go on the computer mic then.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds better. So, Mullinex, you're our. Before we go to that.
Why?
Oh, they're the pride ears too. Look at what we have here.
Oh, that.
Ray, can I please get full screen on this? Ray, can I please have full screen? Got the Big Freak shirt on though. Hang on, we're learning how to do stuff here. There we go. Look at that, y'all. That is Ray with
and they're even
full
sparkly.
pride.
Yeah, they're sparklies, man.
Full pride ears. Way to be, Ray. That, sir, is your new image when you call me. So great. Now my camera's blurry. I'm doing like a TikTok transition here. Anyway, you got to rearrange us.
Why? It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
I mean, is it? You have some serious issues when it comes to
it. Let's let Andy do an introduction here while you do. Okay, this is better. My camera's still blurry. Andy, tell us what do we need to know about you, boss?
Well, I'm Andy Mullinex, and I'm sitting here at the White's Media World Headquarters and guest on the Should Have Gone to Bed podcast tonight. So I'm excited to be here. I don't know about you guys, but this is fun. So thanks for having me on today or tonight, and we'll see how this all plays out.
There we go. I'm so excited to have you. I had my camera all blurred. Wanting all the focus to be straight to you. So Mullinex is our Mullinex pretty much runs the operations over at Wikes Media and is a big part of the team. And as we've gone through and talked about these podcasts, the problem is me and Ray, we can literally have conversations about nothing for hours on end. Ask either of our wives, they'll both tell you. And if you listen to the podcast, you know it's true as well. So we thought we'd bring Andy in as kind of the whip to keep us moving in the right direction. So we'll see how he does here. And if y'all get talking about Harleys or something like that, I'll just sign off and y'all can have your own podcast. I'll find some other shit.
So we can do that too.
And I'm Andy. Obviously, I'm in the hotel this weekend. I'm up in meetings up in basically Antarctica. Clear the hell up here near Superior, Wisconsin. So meetings this week for the first couple of days. A couple other clients I got to stop and see on the way back. So this is kind of a travel week. Andy traveled into the office, and me and Ray traveled out of the office, which is going to make things pretty interesting. So anyway, so Andy, do you have like a script or a plan for this, or are we just rolling?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna roll. I mean,
Perfect.
I've got a couple notes here that if it starts to drag a little bit, we can I'll throw out some topics of conversation. But
if it's gonna drag, we've already seen the first picture of drag. Friday is back there.
Oh no.
So y'all want to see something cool? Look at this. I brought them with me. So as part of for anybody out there and of the 13 to 15 people that download this, if you want to become my favorites, these are macaroons or macarons.
Macaroons.
That my wife and kids picked up for me for Father's Day. Has anybody had one of these? You guys don't know what macarons are or macaroons?
Macaroons.
Yeah, didn't you bring them somewhere? Yeah, didn't you bring some to Texas last year? Or Texas last year.
Probably. Yeah. Andy, you've never had them?
Do they have coconut in them?
You can get them with all kinds of stuff.
Okay,
so these green ones on the side here, like this one's a pistachio.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I've had them. Yeah.
Oh. So I've got pistachio here. I've got almond. I don't remember what all these are, but Amanda and the kids got these for me for Father's Day. So this is kind of the last thing I get to do before I stop being fat. I got to stop being fat soon.
So today in Discovery Cove, of course, you're in the water all day, which they give you these nice vests to put on for whatever reason. I have no clue why you have to have these they're like 1 mil neoprene suits. I mean, it's like the top to a wetsuit, but it's cut off sleeves and nothing. I mean, it's not like it's keeping you warm. It's not like it's buoyant by any means. But anyway, mine, of course, wanted to ride up my belly. So of course, every time Molly would turn around, she'd laugh at me. But yeah,
isn't that fun?
So it was like a half neoprene shirt.
It's just like a cut off, Yeah, and then
don't kid yourself. She showed him the Pride Ears picture at the beginning, so they got him one of those belly shirts, like what do they call them, like a tube top or a tank top? Ain't nobody else wearing one. It was just right.
It was a halter top.
Halter top. There you go.
It was a halter top. But so walking around all day with half of my belly hang out really did a lot for the self-confidence.
See, my self-confidence is at an all-time high because about an hour and 15 minutes ago, I just crushed a large-sized curly fry, a Frisco burger, and some onion rings. So I'm going to be in pain all night tonight. But as we've discussed many times, Ray, just because you know you're going to suffer from it does not stop you from eating it. That's just the male way.
Because Discovery Cove, right? I don't even want to talk about. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much it costs. So when Molly scheduled all this stuff, she was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "I don't care what we do." I was like, "But you know me, I'm a cheap bastard. So if you start telling me how much it's going to cost, I'm gonna start cutting stuff out.
Yeah.
You know the budget, so you take care of it." But it's an all-inclusive deal. When you walk in the resort, it's not like Disney where they charge you $8 for a Coke or whatever, right? You walk in. Breakfast is ready. You eat all the breakfast you want. They go do the dolphin tour thing or the dolphin swim thing. Then you play around. You can have slushies and cookies and pretzels and all this kind of stuff until lunch. Then the lunch go through there. They have like steak and salmon and chicken and all this stuff. So of course I want to get my money's worth. So I can't tell you how many slushies and pretzels and cookies and. I go through the line and I'll take a steak and a chicken and a salmon. So yeah, it's not good. I'll probably be like $250 by the time I get back to the house.
That's where I'm at. I say we weigh in later this week and we start like the next podcast. We start see if anybody wants to join us.
I can peel it off quick.
Oh yeah.
Can you? I don't know how you can lose weight, Andy. You don't even eat anything. This guy stands over the sink in the office and scarfs down like the nastiest shit you've ever seen in your life. Like, like the dog won't eat the shit.
That's not nasty.
He eats tuna in olive oil and just eats it with a fork, not on a cracker, not just eats it with a fork. And then some days, there's days he's eating these sardines and all, like, yeah, it's like sardines and nasty. Like sardines are gross as they are, and then they mix them in to make it taste worse. And this guy, like the fucking cats in the neighborhood, don't even come around the office. It's so bad.
So here's what we need to
All
do.
he eats.
We need to do a White's Media weight loss competition, right?
Let's get into physical.
And you do it on percentage of weight loss that way, because of course, bigger guys or bigger people can lose weight faster, right? So we do it on percentage of weight loss. Everybody throw in like $20 or $50, whatever, and winner takes all at the end of it.
Well, I think the only people, because Mike ain't gonna do it, and I think all the other people that would potentially do it are on this call.
You wave some cash at it, and you put it out. There's only,
you can't just wave cash. They gotta put money in. If it's just a bonus that I'm putting out, then he probably would. But it's not motivation to me to try to keep my own money. Seems less fun at this point.
Yeah.
Oh man, Andy, did you watch the race today?
I did not.
Perfect.
So I
think
think
we're a NASCAR podcast
tonight. So,
so before we get into that stuff, so yesterday we get to the condo here. We decide on the food for the week, right? So we're just going to run down to Walmart. I've been telling Molly for the past week, we need to get with my sister-in-law, figure out what we want to do, order everything from Walmart, and just go pick it up, right? Well, of course, that didn't happen. So we had to make a Walmart run. And I shit you not, this was the busiest Walmart I have ever been to in my life, to the point of is he scratching his back scratching?
Butt scratcher?
so got a travel scratcher.
You travel
everywhere I go.
When I say, you're literally sitting in there and people are fighting over getting the last item off and I talked to one of the guys at Walmart and I'm like, is it like this every day? Because I'm thinking, okay, this is all the people coming down to Orlando for Disney, coming in on a Saturday, right? That's the typical move-in day, move-out day. And the guy looked at me, he said, no. He said, it's like this all week long. As fast as they could damn stock it, they were – so we finally get out of there, and it was like the one in Daytona Daytona we went to. Andy had the liquor store attached to it.
Yeah,
and so I of course have to go in there and get some Tito's. So I grabbed a 750 because I'm pretty much the only one drinking here this week.
What's that gonna do for you?
Well, I have 750. I got my kids with me, and I got to get up at like in the morning. Somehow I'm the breakfast guy, and so I got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and cook breakfast for everybody. Because we're supposed to be at Disney by 7:30, 8 o'clock or some shit. So,
boy, you're talking me into a vacation already.
Yeah. So,
jeez, I'm dying for it. I hope Amanda's listening to this tonight. Yes, I can't wait to do that.
So, well,
vacation where I can't drink.
You're gonna be. You could drink. We can drink. If you were here, I bet we'd have handles. But
yeah, perfect.
Yeah. But because the thing we would do then was we'll meet y'all there at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, ladies.
So I'm in line
a Walmart
with the 750 at vodka, and this lady in front of me goes, "That ain't gonna last. That ain't gonna last you a week, honey." She's like, "I was like, oh, I know." Oh my God.
What'd you say, Mullinex?
Have you ever been to a Walmart on Black Friday? I went one time.
One time. Yeah, one
and
time.
They have all of these pallets all wrapped up in the aisles, and you can't get to them until a certain time.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of standing off to the side with this Walmart employee, and the time hit, and there's this cacophony of shredding and noise.
Time out.
And what?
What? You can't put out the.
You want me to Google that for you?
Yeah, please.
There's this loud noise. All of these pallets are getting shredded and tore into. And I looked over at the Walmart guy. We exchanged glances, and he said, "It's happening."
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
And I was like, "I'm just gonna stay here, hang out here in the T-shirt section. I don't want to be a part of it." So Black Friday at Walmart, don't do it.
I went one time with Amanda, and after driving around the parking lot for about 20 minutes, I was so mad that I was ready to pretty much end any person who got near me.
Oh yeah.
And so I ended up parking my truck up on the grass between Blaine's and between Walmart. I just pulled up there and I'm like, tow it. At this point, I don't give a shit. I'm already ready for a divorce. I'm ready for everything else. Like, tow it. So we go in and we walk by all these pallets, same things, all these people standing in line. I figure we're going there to buy TVs and all this stuff to save all this huge money.
Yeah.
We get to the back of the store and I still remember it to this day, and Amanda will too. She bought a OtterBox phone case that was like $16 off. So an $85 to $100 phone case, and she got like $16 off. I'm like, I would have gave you $50 to just stay at home and not come here, and you'd have come out way ahead. I'd have bought you the damn phone case for retail plus $50 to not have to come to this stupid store.
Oh, yeah.
And ironically, she's never asked me to go again.
Yeah.
It was reminiscent. I don't know if you guys remember the Cabbage Patch Kids from the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I remember
Ray,
them,
you
but
know what
not
I'm talking
shopping for them.
I was in a Target or Walmart or something, and this was like at the height of these Cabbage Patch doll crazes, where you couldn't get them. They were just the hot item. I was in a Target or a Walmart, and they wheeled out a pallet of these Cabbage Patch Kids, and I saw 50-year-old women throwing elbows, suplexes, pile drivers to get to these Cabbage Patch Kids, and that's what Black Friday Walmart was reminiscent of.
Oh, it's bad now that these grown ass men are going into Target and Walmart after Pokemon cards and baseball cards to the point.
Those are not grown ass men.
Well, they're old enough to should be grown ass men, but they're going to the point that Target has stopped selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Target, like you go into Target now where the sport cards and stuff used to be, and there's signs saying we have, due to safety reasons, we have stopped selling sports cards or Pokemon cards or whatever. It's ridiculous.
I don't know how you can relate Pokemon cards to a sports card.
I mean, it's a trading card. It's something people collect. Dude, there's Pokemon cards that are worth millions of dollars.
Yes, there is.
Yes, they are.
Only if somebody's dumb enough to pay for it. This shirt's worth $300,000, but
a Charizard 10 is worth $1 million.
Why do you know this?
I'm a nerd. I'm somewhat of a fucking nerd too. Okay.
God,
there's a guy.
Star Wars characters are all upset right now.
Things about use. I have a lot of useless information in my head.
Yep.
Apparently so.
There's a guy on YouTube. That's all he does is unopened.
Oh my God! If we go to this again, I'm gonna
cards, and he like freaks out. But he's got millions of followers. That's all he does. Is he just opens up packs of cards.
Oh, we did a podcast with this once with some Panarinis or something like that, where I watched these guys open up race car cards, and they made me watch it for like 20 minutes on the podcast, and I will quit if we do that again.
You were supposed to buy a box and do it.
Amanda said I can't. Well, I don't know if that's all for it. I forgot all about it, to be dead honest. We can do it again. It was like $300, and I had like a 1 in 10 chance of winning something that nobody gave a shit about, and a 10 out of 10 chance of stuff that I didn't give a shit about. That was neat. This is what it is.
I'm being totally honest with you. I'm freaking out about going. Dude, I can't wait to go to Hollywood Disney tomorrow so I can go through the Star Wars stuff. I want to go build my own lightsaber, and Molly doesn't want me to.
I don't know that we went into Hollywood Disney. Is that Universal Studios? No,
that's Disney. It's new. I don't know how long. It's on Disney property.
I don't know. I think we went to. I don't know where we went.
So you got, of course, on Disney.
3 days of it.
You got Hollywood Studios. You got Magic Kingdom. You got Animal Kingdom, and you got Epcot. And then you got Universal, which you have Adventure Island. What's the other one?
Yeah, Universal Studios is one of my favorite places I've ever been.
I prefer Universal over Disney.
Is Universal the one that has the giant ass green brontosaurus by the ice cream place right when you first walk in? Yeah.
No, that's the place in Fairbank that you're thinking of.
No, there's a. Oh my God! I swear to you, Amanda commented. I miss doing it live where Amanda could back up my stories. They have a big green dinosaur that's like by this little lake, and then when you go to the backside of the dinosaur, that's where the Indiana Jones ride is. See, I remember the details of shit.
I don't remember the brontosaurus. And I'm not.
Are
saying
you going there this weekend?
Yeah, we're going. I think Wednesday. But they've changed a lot of stuff. They've done I'm super excited about going to Diagon Alley and to Hogwarts and all that good stuff too.
Is to the
I
Hogwarts?
forgot my interactive wand.
Is that Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're losing.
Dude, I forgot. I've got to buy another interactive wand because I forgot my interactive wand at home.
Fuck, I quit. How do you spell Brontosaurus?
Fuck if I know. But yeah, it's going to be fun. But tomorrow, so I'm sitting there. My daughters and my wife are doing the dolphin thing, and we're trying to get pictures, but they're a little ways away. And of course, my brother and sister-in-law have done this before a couple times, and they're like, "Yeah, that guy out there taking pictures. You can get all these pictures you want to, but it's gonna be like $250." And my cheap ass, I'm like, I ain't paying $250 for some damn pictures. Talking all big and bad to them, right? And then of course, after the thing, they're gonna take us into this room and show us all these pictures, and we ended up buying them. So,
and I found out I had no decision power.
Yeah, well, it was. Molly looked at me. We were talking about it, and I was like, because they're great, beautiful pictures, and my pictures are zoomed in as far as my iPhone could, and they were decent. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
I agree. We did all the pictures from I don't know where we went, Prairie Forge or whatever, Pigeon Forge, whatever that place was, and we did old time thing, and we did all those photos and spent $1 gazillion on it so that she could post them on the internet.
Yeah. So I go back, we finish up, and we're sitting there eating, and I was like, "Yeah, we bought them." And my sister-in-law goes, "Yeah, we bought them too." She's like, "I actually pulled them out of the box for the first time since we got home." I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much what mine's going to be too."
Yeah. They give you a CD so you can print them on your own too.
Yeah, so you go to Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, you go to the Star Wars, and you can actually build your own lightsaber, but it's like $200, and I would
so worth it.
That's what I'm saying. But Molly's been telling me the whole time, that's just you don't need a lightsaber. I was like, no, I don't need a lightsaber, but right. So this is going to be my bargaining chip tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, you remember those pictures we bought yesterday?
Yeah. See, here's the downfall.
And the baby girl
when you give in hopes of getting a reward at the end of it, it doesn't work that way, because here's going to be where she comes back to you. She's going to say, "Yeah, those pictures were for the family. The lightsaber is for you."
But my baby girl, she wants a lightsaber too, so it's going to be.
So she'll probably get one.
There you go.
It's going to be her.
Yep.
It'll be a joint. Okay, then you stand a chance. But
if it has to have a pink blade on it, it has to have a pink blade. Yep. I'm okay with that.
All about giving to your kids, Ray.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
Game
on with the lightsaber.
And I may or may not walk in Gryffindor robes. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. We've got to steer this in a different direction.
All right, gentlemen.
Let's talk about
the
Nashville.
only reason I'm talking about this is because I know Andy's sitting there going, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
I'm gonna be dreaming that maybe the paratroopers or whatever, the guys in the white uniforms in Star Wars.
Stormtroopers.
There you go, Stormtrooper. Maybe they'll come in and straighten out my picture while I'm sleeping tonight and throw a light bulb in this shit box for me.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
So,
all right, let's talk about Nashville.
I didn't watch any of the Xfinity race. I was listening to it and losing my shit listening to the radio news, but
a lot of brake issues. Concrete track. The tires seem to hold out pretty well for what I saw. There was no fall off in tires, which is what we've been talking about. At least in the Xfinity race, there wasn't much. So that was good. What did we end up finishing?
27th, 28th.
28th?
Yeah, Kyle finished 28th. He lost his brakes. Going into the third stage or in the second?
Yeah, I don't remember when it was.
Yeah,
I was quite mad.
The 74 car lost his brakes before the first pit stop, I think.
Right? I hate to say it, and safety obviously first, but from a sponsor perspective, shoe fly leggings, electric fence rail, all kinds of airtime. Slow motion replay multiple times on NBC Sports.
Of running over three guys.
Of running over three people.
We don't want to see anybody injured, but it was great for
sure. Yeah, when you're going to run 34th, if you got to get airtime somehow, about anything works besides hitting people. But I haven't heard. The one guy did go to the hospital to be checked out. The other two were fine and continued pitting. But I think he was fine, wasn't he?
I think it ended up being fine. I haven't heard officially, but if I remember them, I think on the Pit Marines TikTok, he said that he was checked out and good.
Yeah, so that was good, but
That's scary, man. I mean, we've said this before. Those guys jumping off the wall in front of a 3,200-pound car or whatever it weighs, coming in at 60 miles per hour, and they just expect that car to stop. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, those guys were not looking at the car. They were running to their spots and just got blasted.
Yeah.
You know, no fault to Bailey at all. I mean, at this point, I don't know that he knew he had
Didn't
a
have
brake
brakes.
failure.
No. I mean, you coming in on pit road like that and stuff, I mean, he probably checked stuff, but I mean, you know, he probably lost it going in. Who knows? I mean, if the rotors or if any of the brake pads fell apart, I don't know anything about cars, so I can make shit up that I hear on the radio, but
So they lost brakes even with the cooling fans on there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you can run different brake packages and you know, we're running older equipment and stuff like that, but the calipers and stuff haven't been rebuilt, haven't been resealed in a while. And it gets those brakes get so hot. And I think the downfall is nobody's run Nashville, or we haven't run Nashville in 10 years? Cubs never run it. So nobody's got a notebook on it. And so it carried a lot of speed. So you're mashing on the brakes, getting into 1 and getting into 3. And when you're putting a lot of heat in the brakes. You remember going bow fishing, Andy, how hot rotors on mine got. So when that goes, I think it burns up seals and stuff, and then you lose your fluid. And
boils the fluid. Yeah, it boils the fluid out. You know, just because that's what was going on with Kyle had, man. I tell you what, I mean,
our speed was there.
Our speed was there. I mean, we qualified. The qual times weren't where they needed to be, but the race times. I mean, he was running top 10 or top 15 times. He was running top 15 times. I mean, I know. Even with the brakes being out, but we were too bad.
We didn't have brakes. We didn't have brakes. We were still running top 13 to 15 speeds.
You just couldn't make passes because you couldn't dive it in.
Yeah, because you couldn't go through. And the other side of it is we were dropping back behind the field. So I'm going to take some of that, not knocking anything with the team, but reality is that, you know, we had 13th to 15th place speed when we were in clean air. I mean, we were back behind the pack enough that we were in clean air on the car. But you know, still the downfall is once again, we had a good car that we didn't get a finish to show for it, you know, and Bailey didn't either. I mean, both cars had good speed, and now we're off to Pocono to see what happens there. But,
and Kyle was talking about how great the car was too.
Boom.
Oh, is that the Brontosaurus? Okay.
Y'all see that?
Yeah. I don't remember that. I mean,
that's Delaney in front of the Brontosaurus. You're going to remember when you go there.
Yeah, I'll check and see if it's still there or not. I'll take a picture in front of it with my pride ears on.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Did you buy the pride ears?
Do you think I bought the pride ears? I mean, nothing against. I mean, and I say that nothing against Pride. You know, Pride Month. I mean, to each his own. You do you. I just, you know, I don't have a reason to wear pride ears.
Just something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, overall. Look, we qualified for the race. It's the first race that we qualified in on.
Yeah.
Which is good news. You know, I mean, cars had good speed and, you know, Kyle wheeled it. He passed quite a few cars. Things were good. But we started having brake trouble pretty early in the day. And, you know, it's tough to run without brakes. And one thing Kyle said on the radio is he said, you know, driving with no brakes is a very helpless feeling. And when you stop and break that down, I was thinking about it today. A couple of things I was thinking about driving through the rain, driving up here, you know, with both windshield wipers going crazy, doing 35, 40 mile an hour and packed traffic going through Minneapolis. And I'm like, those NASCAR drivers in like Coda and stuff, when it's raining hard, they're batshit crazy driving in that stuff at those speeds. But then thinking about not having brakes and traveling into a corner at 170 mile an hour and knowing that there's no way of slowing that car down.
If he had a right front failure or something like that, I mean, there's not a lot you can do anyway.
No.
But you could scrub some speed off. If he had a right front failure, it was blasted into the wall.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
So, but it was what it was. I mean, you know, again, now we go to Pocono. We don't have to qualify for Pocono. Both cars will be in. Following Pocono, we go to Road America, which I might run up to that one. It's on July 3rd. Mullinex, we'll talk. Maybe you want to ride up there with me. I might run up and just go in the pits for that. Drive up there Friday night, watch them qualify Saturday morning, watch the race Saturday afternoon, then drive home. So it's only like 5 hours. So we'll talk. We can stuff your little ass in the front of the A3 and away we go.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, just be rolling. Just be rolling down the road. So
Kyle Busch, was that not his 100th win yesterday in Xfinity?
It was. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we should mention that. That is pretty cool. I mean, 100 wins.
As a matter of fact, they're doing the burnout right over there. Did you not hear that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Kyle Busch wins his 100th Xfinity Series win, which is awesome. He still has 2 more races this year, so I'm projecting that Kyle will probably end his Busch career with 102 wins.
That's what I was going to ask. Is he done now?
No, he can run 5 races. He's got sponsor contracts and stuff like that. So he's run 3 races this year and won 3 races this year.
Well, I know, like I'm saying, like in the future that he doesn't have contracted for next year because his whole goal was to get to that 100.
Yep.
Yeah, he wanted to get to that 100, and I'm wondering now. It's like, is he done? Is he, because he's getting. I mean, he's still a young guy, but is he getting to the point now that, like, especially, well, I guess it'll change next year when they go back to qualifying and practice. But like now, I mean, they're flying in on Sunday racing and leaving now. Instead, now he's flying in Saturday racing, flying.
Yeah, but I think he brings the whole family and probably enjoys it. I really don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he likes to win. It's the same thing as Kyle Larson, which moving to Sunday's race now. I mean, today's, Kyle Larson obviously dominated it basically from the moment they took the green flag. He basically was saving fuel. They were talking on the radio that he was shutting the car off. He was shutting the car off going into 3, coasting through and refiring the car coming out of 4. To save fuel, and he still won by 5 seconds.
And at that point, when he was doing that, he had a 2-second lead over Ross Chastain. And
he won by over 5.
He won by 5. But when he was
had
saving fuel,
he had a 6.5. He had a 6.5 second lead and gave up 1.5 seconds in 9 laps while shutting the car off. I mean, that's it's domination. Like I don't know that I've ever seen someone be so dominant in racing right now. I haven't. And the good news is I may try to run over Tuesday night. He's running at Huset's.
Is he?
In Sioux Falls. He's going to run in Huset's. I guess there's some $30,000 bonus thing. And we with Big Frig are a sponsor of that racetrack. Yeah. So I may try to run over and
I would if he was going to be at a dirt track near me, I would definitely try to get to it.
Well, and he might be in Knoxville on Thursday. So he may be racing within 4 hours of me twice this week, which would be awesome.
Yeah, dude. I at least had to catch one of them.
Try. Let's see what time I get out of here. But
I've never seen him run dirt and live. And of course, I've watched watched some TV or some internet and stuff, and just to watch him race, man, because he's balls to the walls the whole time.
Yeah, I would assume that Kyle Larson running on dirt's a lot like watching Kyle Larson run on track and on a NASCAR track, and that is. He's the car that's whooping everybody's ass from the green flag to the checkered flag.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. So a lot of comers and goers, lots of brake problems in the Cup Series as well. A lot of cautions. There's 11 cautions today, which that's a lot.
Yeah.
So my biggest question, did you see the race at all, Ray, or did you listen to it?
I probably watched the last 60 or so laps.
So in the first segment, Kyle Larson jumped out to a huge lead. Him and Busch both were way away from everybody, and they ended up lapping. There was only like 13 or 15 cars on the lead lap when they came into pit, and 2 cars stayed out that were on the lead lap, but somehow everybody got the pass, whatever, free pass or whatever. I was very confused on how that worked because I was under the impression there'd be 15 cars on the lead lap the rest of the day.
So what will happen? So especially when you get them long green flag runs. The guys in the front, they'll start pitting, and then of course they'll, like you said, you got 15 guys that are or 15 guys left on the lead lap. Those guys will pit or whatever, and then a caution will come out, or those guys won't pit, and a caution will come out. Those guys go into pit. The rest of the cars stay out, and as long as you don't have a car on the lead lap stay out, you get to wave around.
Yeah, but I thought there was 2 cars on the lead lap that stayed out, but I could be.
Again, I didn't watch it. We didn't leave Discovery Cove until like 4:35 o'clock. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong. So it is what it is. I mean, it sounds like there was a lot of attendance. I had some friends that went to the race and had an absolute blast there. Yeah. So good stuff as far as that's concerned. But, I mean, the Cup Series seemed to have some on-track passing and stuff like that. I think right now the reality of it is Kyle Larson is just so dominant. It doesn't matter where we race.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Ross Chastain finishing second. Yeah. I mean, that was a great run for Ross. The best run he's had this year.
For sure.
Listening to that, they were talking about that at the end of the broadcast. And Dale Jr. actually mentioned that, like, this track, and I don't know why, I guess. I mean, it's more that track, even though it's a mile and a third, has more of a short track feel the way it's driven. because they drive it deep down in and they getting on the brakes heavy and stuff like that. And they said that kind of lends to Ross's skill set a little bit more. You know, he'd come up racing short tracks, super late models, that type of feel. But
I think their cars, I think the Ganassi cars are just getting better. I mean, honestly, since the race because they run Hendrick stuff, right?
They got an alliance with Hendrick, I believe.
Yeah, because they had that race a couple weeks ago where both their cars were out like with engine problems before it started. I don't remember where that was.
Yeah.
And since that happened, they seem to be quite a bit stronger. So maybe that guy who fell on the sword over at Hendrick is like, hey, let us hook you up with some stuff here the next few weeks to get going. Because I don't know, but they were fast. There's no doubt. And good for Ross. I mean, that's awesome.
And this was the high horsepower, low downforce package too.
Yeah,
so
750 with no spoiler.
Those guys that race those super late models coming up. I mean, those super late models, pushing 800-900 horsepower in a 2,600 pound car. I mean, it's a lot of horsepower to manage, a lot of throttle control coming out of the corner and stuff like that. So, that's one of Ross's, and William Byron too. That's why you see William Byron up there, which, I mean, he's in the Hendricks car, don't get me wrong, but he was a hell of a super late model racer too.
So Kyle Larson, 3-point races in a row, plus the All-Star race. So that's 4 wins in a row. I think he has 3 wins during the week where he's stopping off at random dirt tracks and beating everybody's asses there. Like, this guy's basically the bully who's just not tired of beating people yet. I mean, it's just insane.
Did we talk about it on the podcast last week, or is this just a conversation me and you had about an interview? I saw somebody interview Tony Stewart about him.
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. They talked about it again today, though.
Yeah, but Tony Stewart, this guy asked Tony Stewart, is like, is he the best guy since you? The guy asked Tony Stewart, said, is he the best race car driver since you in the sport? And Tony Stewart said, he's the best ever. He's better. He said he's 10 times better than me. He said, and the reason being, he said, a good race car driver, you can put him in anything, give him some time, and he's going to get it. He said, Kyle Larson, he said, look at it. He said, he goes from, a heavy ass stock car on Sunday at the 600, wins that race, and jumps into 1,000 horsepower lightweight sprint car and whoops everybody's ass on Monday. And he said the difference is he don't have to think about what he's doing. He just does it.
He just gets in a drive.
He just gets in the guy. It's like when he ran this year or last year when he was suspended, he ran the World of Outlaw late models. And don't get me wrong, I mean, sprint cars are beasts to handle, but late models, they bump and rub a little bit more, right? I mean, you can't bump and rub on a sprint car. I mean, it's just the open wheel stuff. But these late models, I mean, they bump and rub, and it's a little bit rougher to get through there. His first time in a World of Outlaws late model, he finished second, and his second time in a World of Outlaws late model, he won.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unreal.
What did he run last year? He ran 36 or 37 races and took the checkered flag in 32 of them. I mean,
something stupid like that. I mean,
it's just insane. I mean, listen, if you want to know how Kyle Larson's season going, it all gets wrapped up to what Ross Chastain said in his post-race interview today. And they said, got to be really proud of where your cars are at and what's happening. I mean, this is your best finish ever. And he said, yeah, things are really good. We were one of the only cars that could see Kyle Larson when we crossed the finish line, which is, I mean, honestly, that's sad to say, but pretty true. And I think that kind of ties up the whole season right now.
And he's 28 years old. I mean, is this uncommon for somebody that young to be that good? I mean, do you have – I mean, obviously, the more you're seasoned in racing, but, I mean, at 28 years old to be that accomplished already.
Well, Andy got to sit out for a year for saying naughty stuff, but, I mean
I mean, these kids are coming in now to NASCAR getting cup rides at 20, 21 years old. I mean, that's not uncommon now. Joey Logano was probably the first guy. So Joe Gibbs signed Joey Logano when he was like, 16, 17?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I know he was young.
Wow. And he was the first one that you kind of really saw a team take and develop. And then after the success, which really he didn't have that much success at Gibbs.
No, he didn't. But he also, in his defense, didn't he get into a Gibbs car right behind Tony Stewart?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's one of the things. When you say he didn't have much success, he ran 3 years in a car that he'd never never been around that. And he got in behind Tony Stewart, who was coming off of championships, to go over to Stewart Haas and run.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, that's when it kind of really started. And that's when you started seeing. I remember watching back in the day when NASCAR was at its peak. Jack Roush Motorsports did this whole series where they took and you applied to come and they put you through paces like they did the trucks, and they put you through a couple of different it was almost a reality type TV thing, but they were taking these young kids and running them through. And now you got kids look at Ty Gibbs, for instance. I mean, everybody can say it's because of his grandpa, but he's went the same route as a ton of these other drivers, starting in Legends, and, being sponsored in Legends by a Cup team, moving up to late model stocks, late model sportsmen, or super late models, ARCA, Xfinity. He hadn't run a truck, has he?
I don't know.
I think he went right from ARCA to Xfinity.
Yep.
But, I mean, that's what you see with these kids. But back to your point, Mullinex, I mean, he's an alien. In iRacing, we call them aliens. Right?
Oh, God, here we go. I thought we were going to make it through a whole podcast without talking iRacing. We're getting on vacation. I thought there was a chance.
No, all jokes aside, when you'll have these guys that, I mean, nobody can come close to running these lap times on iRacing, and that's what we call aliens, because nobody can. I mean, they're just in a different world. And Kyle Larson's like that. He is in a different world when it comes to these racetracks. And why is that? I don't know. Is it he sees something different? And see, I'm a big fan of the guys that come from dirt, because dirt, like asphalt tracks, for the most part, there's a groove, right? You're in that groove. It may be a 1-groove track. It may be a 2-groove track, but you know what those grooves are, and they don't move much. They might move up a half a lane or something because of rubber buildup and stuff like this. But in dirt cars, from the time that green flag goes to the checker flag, they're moving around that track the whole time.
Yeah, there's 3-4 different lanes.
Exactly. And I really honestly believe that's where these guys that can find that speed when they need to, that's where it comes from, these dirt guys. And
I think so too, but I think there's a real chance of, I mean, he's winning on road courses. He's winning everywhere.
It's still about finding the speed, even on a road course. Even on a road course.
But I mean, don't you think that some people have an innate ability to, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, it can be golf, it can be driving. I mean, some people just get it. They understand all the dynamics of it.
Yeah,
they can just play. I mean, I think so too. And I think, take a Kyle Busch, for instance. Kyle Busch can drive. I don't care what anybody says, he can drive. He can drive the hell out of anything. But what Kyle sets him apart is not only can he drive, when he gets in a car, he can tell a crew or make that car fit his drive style better than anybody, which is why he always competes with practice. I don't know if he fell apart today. I didn't hear what was wrong. I'm assuming he wasn't doing interviews. But Kyle Larson can just do anything. He what?
He about Reddick a couple of times trying to get under him.
Yeah.
I've noticed here lately he's been getting a little frustrated behind the wheel and probably putting the car in positions he normally wouldn't put it in.
Yeah. I think he's pissed because Gibbs is usually the dominant cars, and right now there's nobody holding the candle to Hendrick.
Yeah. So just as a point, I looked it up. Kyle Larson ran 39 sprint car races last year and won 30 of them.
30.
Yeah.
That's traveling all around the country.
He actually made more money last year running dirt cars than he did the year before running cup cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Somebody asked him, interviewed him, was like, if money was not an object and you could choose to run cup cars or dirt cars, which would you choose? He goes, I'd still run them both.
Yeah.
They talked about that today too, because Hendricks, before this, Hendricks put a lockdown on their drivers.
Yep.
They wouldn't let them.
Well, Kyle said he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. He wouldn't. Hendrick wouldn't let them go out and run these races, of course, fear of them getting injured or whatever. And that was one of Larson's stipulations, was that I can go run what I want to when I want to. Yep. Like he's always kind of let them run maybe 4 or 5 races a year or something like that, But
Kyle's racing 2 times a week.
Oh yeah, to give them a blank calendar when they don't have any other opportunity or any other obligations, and just go run dirt. That was unheard of.
So next week, Tricky Triangle, what else you want to talk about, Andy?
Oh, we can talk
Back
about
scratchers?
anything. Travel back scratchers, colonoscopy.
Butt scratcher!
Greatest thing in the world.
Whatever you
Anybody who
want to
doesn't have these, go to Advanced Auto, O'Reilly Auto, Walmart, Mills Fleet Farm, any of them. If you don't have 6 of these, you're an idiot. That's
Hey, hey, talk about the magnetic little attachment on
yeah.
there.
I don't know if there's anything around here that's. It has a magnetic little attachment. Y'all see that little magnet right there? If you're listening to this, then you should just know looks like a little hand.
Well,
It's a
Madison
magnet in the
does
middle.
post
You can
these-
use it to pick something up, but I don't have anything that's. I don't have anything magnet here.
Madison does post these to YouTube, so people could.
Oh, true.
watch it.
Well, some people watch that. Then
Is she
I don't
posting?
know
Are
if
we
anybody's watching
posting?
it yet?
Are we posting anything on Wolfpack about this? Because Miss Betty, I had to let her know today we weren't doing these live anymore.
I think so. I think they were doing highlight clips from it, and then you can download the podcast or watch it on YouTube. But I don't really know. It's not like I'm in charge of this anymore.
We're just on.
I'm turning it over to Mullinex. I'm turning everything over to Mullinex, and if I can't turn it over to him, I'm turning it over to you. I'm working my way to retirement as fast as I can. I'm going to lose 40 pounds and then retire.
Lose 40 pounds, retire, get you. Something was funny today, and nobody was around me when I saw it. I've seen more like 50-year-old dudes with like 20-year-old wives down here than I've seen it anywhere in my life. Like we were in line to get something.
Unfortunately, I'm not rich, so it's probably not going to work out for me. All those guys are real heavy in the wallet, right?
Yeah. So we're sitting in the line to pick up food today, and I look back.
Where'd you eat?
It was at Discovery Cove. It was
yeah.
So it's I look back and there's this like I'm overweight as well, but this overweight older guy with like a woman had to be 20 in her early 20s, and I'm like, that dude's loaded. You know what I mean?
It could have been his daughter.
It wasn't. I've never seen a guy kiss his daughter that way.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't visit.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. Like, this is why me ever having a young mistress is not to happen, because I'm not all about that PDA thing. Like, I don't care if you're a smoking hot 20-year-old and I'm a rich 60-year-old. Like, I don't want y'all leaning up on me trying to make out with me in public. Like, that's not me. That's not me. And that's what you always see. It's like these little hookers all up on the this is gross.
Yeah,
I think the per capita rate in Florida of sugar daddies is pretty high.
For sure. Yeah, and that was what my
to
life.
avoid taxes.
Yeah, I mean, it is a life goal to be a sugar daddy, but now that I've gotten older, here's the reality: is I'm like Ray. I'd rather get my own lightsaber than have to buy it for my 20-year-old girlfriend. Like, screw this shit.
I saw on TikTok today the sheriff for the county we're in. I don't know what county is this. Osceola or whatever. He's holding up this picture, and it's got like people at Disney and people all over it. And he's like, all those people that are moving down to Florida, I have one thing to say to you. He said, first of all, welcome to Florida. Second of all, don't vote like you voted where you moved from.
Exactly right. That's the truth.
But yeah, it's crazy. I love people watching down here too. That's great.
I love people watching anywhere.
Yeah, just especially at Disney Springs, you get all types, so it's fun to just sit back and watch. And to me, it's always fun in the afternoon. Like today, we're sitting there. We're kind of just chilling out before we were drying off some before we were getting ready to come home. And of course, you see the families that have been there all day long in the sun, in the pool, just tired, just mom and dad, just kids just flipping out and this, that, and the other. I was like, yep, time for the show now.
It's exactly, dude. I saw a TikTok this morning, and I had to show it to Amanda, and just because you were talking about how men and women started fighting and stuff like that, husbands and wives, and it was like just the song playing, and it showed the wife in the passenger seat, the guy driving, and just dead silence in the car, and the caption on it said something like this vacation's already off to a rocky start. He didn't pick me up any snacks from the gas station when I told him I didn't want anything.
Yeah.
I showed it to Amanda, and I was like, this is real.
Yeah.
This is why I'm always pissed. I'm like, you
100%.
want anything? No. And then I come out with something for me, and you're going to be reaching over, grabbing it. bullshit. Like, get out the car, go in and get what you want. That's it. That's how
I
it
got
is.
just enough for me.
Yeah, right. Like, you want any French fries? No, I don't want any French fries. I'll just eat yours. Bullshit. You're gonna lose. You can reach over here and come back with a stump. Watch.
So on the way here, Friday, I was lucky enough to pass by Buc-ee's, right? So had to stop.
Gotta love Buc-ee's.
You know, you can't. And this Buc-ee's is like at least twice as big as the one in Texas. So I'm all excited about going into Buc-ee's, you know. And of course, you know how wives can be sometimes when you're excited about something, they want to be fun suckers, right? They really are in awe. Like I could tell Molly was like, wow, this store is great, but she didn't want to admit that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm showing her all the, hey, you can come over here and get you a brisket sandwich. You can come over here and get you a kolache. You can come over here.
Get you fresh fudge.
Fresh fudge.
Hold on, back up. You got to bring me up to speed on Buc-ee's. I don't know about Buc-ee's.
We're not going to tell you nothing about Buc-ee's. You research it on your own.
What?
You got to find out Buc-ee's, man. Buc-ee's is amazing.
Dude, if you come to Texas with me and
is it a restaurant?
No, it's a gas station.
Oh.
They have like 130 pumps, and it's like twice the size of our Walmart. No, it's not. It's like the size of our Walmart.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy.
Dude, they have like fresh brisket. Like they're making more food. There'll be 150 people standing there waiting to grab food as they throw it out.
Yeah,
so it's gas station food on another level.
Oh yeah,
it's great. I mean, like
it's
when
amazing.
we went there, guys
it's
got
BUCCEES.
Yeah, you can tell the guy just like brought out 5 fresh briskets off the smoker, and he's back there just cutting away.
Oh yeah, they sell ice. Like a 20-pound bag of ice is $1.
Yeah,
that's how they bring people in there.
It's
but
great.
They have like 100+ pumps at all their stations. It's amazing.
And every one of them was full. I mean, it's
amazing.
Oh, dude, it was crazy, man. And this was the one in Daytona, as a matter of fact. You know, when we were in Daytona, it wasn't open yet.
Yeah.
This was the one in Daytona. And this one had a whole like beach store in it, like the beach part, and then the other stuff in it. Mackenzie was in heaven because they had a whole full like coffee bar. She's addicted to coffee at 15. It's a great thing as a father to imagine. But so she's like, this is the greatest thing ever. They've got the hazel, you know, she's going all through this, making her own iced coffee. And I mean, it's just, it's unreal.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's a Texas-based company, and they've got a couple locations in Florida.
Yeah, they're spreading it out to some of the bigger track areas and stuff. They're growing some more, but
just to let you know how ignorant some people in North Carolina are. So about an hour and a half away from my house in Burlington, they were going to put a Buc-ee's there, and the people decided they didn't want it because it was going to be so much traffic.
Oh.
Yeah. That's some of the people in North Carolina we have to deal with.
Yeah, I think those people are everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
Probably just a lot of them in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I was flipping through TikTok this morning, and I saw it showed a side shot of a couple in a boat, and it said something like there was a calm before the storm because we know within 10 minutes we're going to be at each other's throat when we're trying to load the boat.
Exactly right. Oh, and speaking of TikToks, but me and Amanda, we were both in tears this morning watching this. Guy was talking about trying to do a front flip on his bed. He was going to stand up on his bed to do it. And it's a guy like our age. And he goes and steps up onto his bed with his fan spinning full speed. And it just throttles him. And it's one of those you should not be like laughing at thing because that hurt. That hurt really bad for that guy. I could tell. Like it was a very, very painful thing. I'll send that to you guys. But I tagged Madison in it, so hopefully she can play it on here to end the show. We need to have like our TikTok of the week. And for me, that was I was in tears. I don't
know. Did you see the one I sent you about the raccoon today?
I haven't yet. Dude, I pulled in and got right on here. So when this ends, I'm going to the bathroom and then I can watch it.
Catch up on your TikToks.
Yeah, Tiki-Takis. That's the new bathroom.
You're going to love that one as much as you are scared of raccoons.
No, that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's pick. Madison told us we have to be at an hour, and she'll cut some of this out, so maybe it'll even be shorter. Who knows? But we still got to pick. So we got to pick Pocono.
Oh, well, let's talk about this. How about the Stewart Haas cars today? Two of them anyway.
3rd and 5th?
4th and 5th, I think it was.
4th and 5th. Awesome.
Yeah, but still, I mean, no, actually, 4th and 5th. Yeah, Amarola was 4th and Harvick was 5th, and they have had a shitty year.
Horrible.
So coming out today, I mean, it was Ricky.
Harvick had a 2nd in Kansas, I think, but other than that, they've been horrible.
Ricky Stenhouse finishing 6th. Now there were a couple cars that ran out of fuel at the end, but not that many. Daniel Suarez top 7. Kurt Busch ran out of gas and finished 8th. So
did Kevin Harvick, was out of gas too.
Yeah, so it was an interesting race. But yeah, we're going to Pocono this weekend. I'm going to go with the 4-car actually at Pocono.
I wondered whether it was time to pick a thing like that, but I might as well stay on my winning streak. I mean, quite frankly, until someone shows different, why would you not pick Kyle Larson to win this race?
Yeah, I mean, Harvick's always been good at Pocono.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is always good at Pocono too, but right now being good isn't good enough. I mean, that's the reality. If you're really, really good, you're going to be a strong second place finisher, about 4 seconds down. Right now, the field is hoping that something happens to the 5-car and it breaks, because otherwise, I don't think you can beat him.
I'm wondering what they're going to start out. They're going to start disqualifying parts wise on those Hendricks cars.
You got to figure something out because
at
they're just
some point at several points throughout that race today, all the Hendrick cars were up front again.
All of them except for Bowman.
Yeah, I think Chase had some brake issues. He started fading. But other than that,
Aaron had damage and still ran up front all day.
Yeah. Yep. So it's gonna be
crazy.
It's gonna be interesting how that rolls out. But yeah.
Good.
Yep. So.
Well, I'm sticking with Larson then. Mullinex, you got any? Oh, you changed your name to Andy M. Yeah. I didn't even notice that. That's so nice of you. I can just change mine to Wikes.
But speaking of boats, I've told you, Andy, I got to get you out here. My brother-in-law, he's getting a new boat. What is it, Charles? A 38-foot fountain with three 300s. Yeah, with 300s on the back of it.
Ooh.
So we got to get y'all down to the coast, man, and go hook up on some king or some dolphin.
I'll go on a day when it's nice and flat. May not know this about me, but I'm a giant pussy about dying.
Did you say 300s on the back?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, 300s on it. So it's gonna be a nice.
We'll do it. I'll go catch mahi all day long. I love it.
Let's do it.
I was down with a guy in Fort Lauderdale, a buddy of mine. We went out down there and got into those jacks.
Yeah.
Those little things. No, I don't know. No, they were like, I don't know. They were these little fish. I don't know shit about them. Ocean fish all are just pretty. Who knows what they are, right? Except for, I know what mahi are, and I know they taste good. They're like these little jacks. I don't know what they were. They were tiny. But they'd swim around this huge school, and you could just throw into them. Like, they were all around the boat, and we were just like the old videos, where you see those like commercial fishermen reeling them in. You just strap it in and just pull them in. And we loaded the boat down with those things. It was friggin' awesome.
You can do the same thing with mahi. If you get a mahi on and get him up where he's tired and he's not really fighting, and you can swim him behind the boat, I mean, they'll school up. And there are people you can see, you can watch, look on YouTube. You see people, they just like throwing cut bait out there and flinging them in the boat. I mean,
dude, that'd be freaking awesome on mahi. Yeah. You cut them sons of bitches up right on a boat and start eating them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my uncle used to live in Port Charlotte, Florida. He lived on the canals, and he'd take us out, and he fished for cobia. I don't even know what that is, but we just pulled them in the boat one after another. It was just, and they're good sized fish too.
Yeah.
We need to go out and catch some stuff. I'm all for it. I'm bringing my bow, and then when we get out to where we're off coastal waters where it's not illegal, I'm smoking some stingrays. So you got stingray around there?
Yeah, you ain't gonna smoke them all in the damn middle of the ocean.
I don't know. He can go find the sons of bitches. He's a captain. He got a 38-foot bow. He can find fish. Isn't that what their job is?
Yeah, we can go.
Everybody always tells me, "Oh, stingray are everywhere." Blah blah blah. I'm like, let's go
skates,
shoot.
Man. You shoot skates, not stingrays.
What are those?
Skates are. It's just a different breed. It's different.
I want a cow nose.
They're different. I know that. It look the same, except for I don't think that skates don't have barbs, right? He's a cat. He don't fuck with that shit. He just fishes for big sport fish. He don't.
I think even I can hit a stingray with a bow.
You'd be surprised when you shoot a stingray with a bow. What they do, they're usually down on the bottom, and so when they grip and they basically suction themselves to the bottom, they're a son of a bitch to get up. But yeah, they're not real fast and stuff like that. But I mean, they can get pretty wild. But you can shoot. There's a bunch of different sizes. I got buddies that want me to go all the time, but I want to shoot the cow nose ones because I want to get that mounted, and then I'm gonna go shoot I want to shoot a swan. I want to shoot a whooping crane, and I want to shoot a freaking. I've got all this stuff that I want to do. Another paddlefish. I want to get a whole mounted series of like these prehistoric animals.
You would have freaked out the day when that bird landed on my head. As much as you dislike birds,
I'm not afraid of birds. don't like them. They don't do anything but shit on stuff.
Was it part of a show or was it a wild bird?
No, so they had this lazy river, which is not lazy by any fucking means, because my arms were about to fall off at the end. You can either go through this thing without anything, but there's like 8-foot deep sections through it, or you can wear a life vest or have a little noodle. So we would just put the noodles on and just go. But then you get to these sections where the water really wasn't flowing, so you had to kind of paddle yourself along. But so it went through this, what's it called, an atrium or whatever, with the birds in there. But they had this netted off section where they have birds. Well, then you can go up and they give you like this little cup of just different food, and you go in there and you kind of hold it up, and the bird might land on your hand and eat out of it, or you just whatever. So we were going through there, and I wasn't even trying to but I was hoping the girls would have one land on their hand or whatever, So I wasn't even trying. I'm actually sitting there talking. All of a sudden, this one bird comes, lands on my damn arm, starts eating, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And like 30 seconds later, I thought a damn eagle had flew down and grabbed my head. Because it's damn claws, feet, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, it fucking hurts. And he wasn't trying to eat. He just sat there. And of course, we didn't have our phones because we had just come out of the water, so we couldn't get a picture of it. But I mean, he sat there for a while until I finally started going, look, this shit's got to go. So I kind of started moving. I was scared I was going to lose an eye, right?
Dude, I got one of our chickens peck me in the eye one time because of that. Because birds see that movement, so your eyes twitching and stuff. And one of our chickens poked me in the eye. I'd have killed that sumbitch if they weren't Amanda's favorite little things. I'm like, God dang it! You gotta be careful with them.
Yeah, so I was like freaking out.
He would post videos in the chicken coop with his hands over his eyes.
We have them. We have a bunch of them, and I know what you're talking about because Bella, one of her chickens, always would jump up on my back. If I knelt down in the chicken coop, she'd jump on my back. And one day she jumped up onto my head, and I was doing the same thing, trying to get her off. As soon as they get on your head, the first thing I do is start gripping and ripping, and you're like, God dang. And you don't want to throw them off. They'll rip all the skin off your head. So I know what you're saying with that.
So who were those two guys that did the TikTok with Kyle?
So I think those are he had talked to me before, and he was going to bring a couple of, what do they call themselves? Creators or something. Yeah. So he was inviting a couple of creators from the area to come in. So I think that's what that was all about.
It was a pretty funny little tiki-taki.
Yeah, they were having some fun doing tiki-taki stuff. So
yeah. I was telling my brother-in-law today, like he does a lot of kingfish tournaments. They're pretty successful kingfishing team. And, sponsor-wise, we were just talking about stuff. I was like, man, y'all got to get a TikTok going. I was like, that's the way you got to show, that social media and stuff. So we need to give them some TikTok ideas on the boat. I told them just do stupid shit that people are.
I think the first funny. TikTok idea for having the boat would be having us on it.
I'm down. Let's do it.
That's all I got. That's all I got right there. I mean,
I think you're all
with like 1,700 followers. We can make him tiki-taki famous.
Yep. Yeah, like the whole last week in July, he's off down there. So,
well, the whole last week in July is. Oh no, that's Iowa. ARCA race. We'll get something figured out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Bring Brock down.
Yeah, we'll get something set up and have some fun. Well, Andy, any words of advice or wisdom for wrapping up this podcast? I mean, this is your job.
Yep.
I'm so happy that you're donating your time to us. You guys want to talk about Harleys or anything? Because I'll just go use my hotel restroom.
I just saw a TikTok of a guy today that got a new, I don't know if it was a new Sportster or something, and clearly he didn't know how to ride. He gave it gas, popped the clutch, and fell off the back of it, and he was running behind it. The bike went out across the parking lot into the road, just about missed a car, and he fell on his face. And that TikTok, oh my gosh, it had like 1.7 million views already, and you should have seen the comments were almost as good as the video.
So when I worked for Progressive Insurance as an adjuster, I was a special lines adjuster. So I handled all motorhome, RVs, and motorcycle claims. I would have 5 to 6 motorcycle claims a year where a guy would go to a Harley shop, buy a Harley, and before he got it off the lot would wreck it.
Yep.
Running it through bushes, running it across it, same thing, just coming off of it, going to turn and it not turning, then not leaning with it or whatever. And it was just like, I asked the guy one time, I was like, do y'all not go over these bikes with these people? He's like, yeah, man, but, we get these people coming off crotch rockets or coming off these Japanese bikes. He said, and they just don't, taking consideration of the weight. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had like people buy brand new street glides and they're in the shop 6 months waiting on parts, and it's got like 6 miles on it, and those 6 miles were put on by the dealership.
Just wrecked it right out of the lot. Jeez.
Oh, like nothing. I mean, it was so New Bern Harley Davidson. There's an access road, and then there's Highway 70 is 4-lane. And I bet you I handled 4 or 5 where they come out and didn't make a turn and just right through the ditch into the 4-lane. And then there was one called was Winterville Harley Davidson at the time, and where you had to come out of the back of the dealership because the front didn't have access, and they had this big ass holly bush back there, this huge square holly bushes back there. And I know I handled 2 or 3 claims where guys went through that thing.
Motorcycle eating bush.
Yeah, I mean, it was stupid. It's like,
I sent you the guy in the fan. Oh,
the guy in the fan.
Andy, you need to look up Chrome Nipples 25. That's his name. Chrome Nipples 25. Watch this. Here, I'm gonna turn this shit on. Madison will play it for real, but I'm gonna just turn it so y'all can see it. Like, watch this.
One front flip
Yeah.
into a back flip coming up.
I mean, he's
on
got
my
like
bed.
that 7. Watch this.
And that fan that's a
Oh, jeez. You can hear it. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. I feel so bad for him too. Oh yeah, Chrome Nipples 25. What a great name! Of all the things that I would have come up with, Chrome Nipples 25.
Chrome Nipples 25.
That is just awesome.
That is
Good.
amazing.
perfect. Well,
All right, boys.
I'm not gonna be on the morning call in the mornings. Just let y'all know.
Yeah, I probably won't be either, Andy. So you can handle all that work stuff.
all right, gentlemen.
Ray will be up
Good
making
times.
breakfast.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was good to have you. You drove all the way to the office to hang out for an hour and 15 minutes and watch us talk about nothing.
That's awesome.
All right, gentlemen.
All right, guys.
Ray, you can end it.
Yeah, I'm
do we
gonna
have
end it.
anything to promote? Andy, you want to promote anything? There's
$500
like 9 people that
website.
listen. Oh yeah.
Yeah, $500 website.
If all nine people that listen to this buy a $500 website, we can stay in business another month.
That's right.
Y'all
You
can help
can
us
have a
out.
website for $500.
All right. Thanks for everybody listening. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Hold on. Let's see. End broadcast.